Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, California Republican Oliver Kriveric, I think is how you pronounce his name, he's been named as a January 6th suspect. And the reason his story is newsworthy, even though he hasn't yet been arrested, he hasn't been charged, is because he worked in the Trump administration at the time of the Capitol attack. He's also been tied to a profile on a neo-Nazi website, and his father, Tony Kriveric, was a leader of the California Republican Party. So here's the deal with Oliver. USA Today is reporting that on January 6th of 2021, Kriveric was a full-time employee of the Office of Personnel Management for the Trump White House. During his employment in the Trump White House, he was working to implement one of Donald Trump's executive orders. It was to end diversity and inclusion in training in federal agencies. At the time, Kriveric was 22 years old, and they say that he, quote, built a public persona as an up-and-coming student GOP leader. So Kriveric was the leader of the college Republicans at San Diego State University, and in July of 2020, he wrote an opinion column, and Kriveric wrote, quote, in order to mobilize and win the trust of their voters, Republican candidates must increasingly demonstrate their commitment to MAGA. Later that year, Kriveric's college Republicans sent a letter to the Trump administration, and they asked Trump to cancel all temporary work visas for foreign nationals. So, of course, he was invited to be a guest on Tucker Carlson's show. So after Kriveric was identified by the sedition hunters, USA Today reached out and they asked Kriveric if he was at the Capitol on January 6th. Kriveric initially denied being there, and then when they confronted him with photos showing him in D.C., Kriveric then admitted, yeah, I attended Trump's speech, but he still denied entering the building. Then the reporter asked Kriveric about photos that appear to show him inside the Capitol, and Kriveric again changed his story. He claims that, I can't remember, I just don't recall if I went inside. Then Kriveric was asked about the neo-Nazi profile in his name, and he was equally evasive. USA Today says in 2016, Kriveric's first and middle names were used to create a profile on a neo-Nazi website called Iron March. When Iron March was hacked in 2019, Kriveric's alleged account showed an IP address that matched to his hometown of San Diego, California. And the same Iron March username was used for a messaging app, and the profile picture that appeared on this app very much resembled Kriveric. In addition, the user of the Iron March profile boasted about his Swedish heritage, and we know Kriveric's father is Swedish. The user also praised Hitler, praised fascism, expressed support for the deportation of non-white people. And in one post, the user wrote, quote, the accomplishment of white Europeans and their frequency vastly and significantly outweighs anything ever produced or built by those of any other race or continent. Then the user also referred to gay men using a homophobic slur, of course, and the person called them, quote, utterly revolting. So when USA Today asked Kriveric about these vile posts, he talked over, around, under all these questions. He never flat out denied writing them, though, or that the profile belonged to him. He told the journalist that, I just don't recall writing these posts. And then Kriveric said that he, quote, did not particularly recognize the email address that was associated with this account. Kriveric also said, quote, I don't know if that's long in the past or I wouldn't recognize anything. I just don't have a recollection. I mean, for such a young person, this Kriveric guy has a pretty faulty memory. You might want to see a doctor about early onset dementia. Anyway, Eventually, USA Today told Kriveric that there's Capitol surveillance video showing him entering the building. And Kriveric said, quote, "I don't know about that. I'd have to see it." You'd have to see it to know if it was you, to know if you entered. Like, there he goes forgetting again. Anyway, so they sent Kriveric copies of photos and then also a link to the video footage of him entering allegedly, and they never heard from him again. He just ghosted them. He stopped responding. So others have responded though, and they told USA Today that it is definitely Kriveric. Two of his former colleagues say that Kriveric's younger brother, Victor, was bragging about Kriveric storming the Capitol. And then two other people heard that same rumor from other people. There was also a colleague who looked at the Capitol photos and told USA Today, yes, that is definitely Kriveric. She even reported Kriveric apparently back in 2021 to the FBI. And as we all know, there have been a lot of people who've been identified. They still haven't been arrested yet, but the FBI is trying to catch up on this. The former colleague who turned him in said Kriveric has a very distinctive face. That's how she knew it was him. But there were a lot of other clues that led to his alleged identification. Kriveric was photographed with a flag that he's been seen carrying around in the past. It's an America First flag, which is the, white supremacist Groyper movement flag. That was the group founded by racist Nick Fuentes, who hangs out with Trump at the Mar-a-Lago club, having dinner with Kanye West, the other anti-Semite. Kriveric was also seen inside the Capitol wearing a very unique pair of shoes. They're pink Adidas.
Those, well, one does want a hint of color.
And there are photos of him wearing those same shoes, those same pink Adidas, at a San Diego Republican Party event that was held 18 months before the Capitol attack. And guess what? Kriveric's younger brother is following in his elder brother's footsteps. Victor Kriveric was kicked out of the Marines in May of 2022 after they investigated his alleged white supremacist ties. Victor Kriveric was apparently a Marine reservist, and the military investigated his involvement with a neo-Nazi group called Patriot Front. You may have heard of that group. When Patriot Front's online chats were leaked to the media, there were messages that were found from Victor Kriveric, and they went public. He was telling a Patriot Front recruiter that his older brother introduced him to right-wing white supremacist material. And USA Today says that there was a video that resurfaced more recently in 2020 about their father. And they said, quote, "The video produced decades earlier features photographs of Hitler doing a Nazi salute and swastikas, interspersed with photos of a young Tony Kriveric wearing dark sunglasses. It also depicts one man with a swastika drawn on his neck." So Tony Kriveric referred to the video as offensive. Sounds like his sons would disagree, right? If everything we're hearing about his sons are true, sounds like they might like that video of their father. Anyway, I will keep an eye on this. I will definitely let you know if or when Kriveric is arrested for his part in the Capitol attack, alleged part in the Capitol attack. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.